Carol is, for many years, been the person when we've got a call where there's conflicts over trees, and it could be anything around trees, trees blocking views, overhanging trees, hazardous, potential hazards that they might create.
These disputes are very bitter, the tree disputes. I mean, you can imagine, sound like, oh, it's a tree, but like when somebody in the Berkeley Hills gets their view blocked, they're really angry.
Carol, first of all, is very passionate about both the environment and how trees are handled and dealt with in our communities. And so she brings that level of knowledge and expertise and passion to the work. So I think that's also been very helpful for the parties who were involved to sort of take a look at that from that aspect and sort of seeing if they can find ways that they can reach a resolution that hopefully, can keep the trees and keep the trees in a healthy way, but also meets the needs of all the parties involved.
So I had the pleasure of watching Danielle grow up. And when she was a teenager, going to San Lorenzo High School, she became part of the peer mediation group. In fact, probably one of the first ones at San Lorenzo High. And at the time, we were starting a program at Mediation Services where when we had a family mediation where there was a teenager involved, we always wanted a teenager on the panel. I remember one was a mediation with a runaway girl. And Danielle was able to draw the girl out and get her to discuss the reasons why she ran away and what the feelings that she had had and why she felt desperate enough to do it. And beyond that, Danielle was able to draw the mother out and get the mother to start talking and get her to start saying why she did the things she did and why she said the things that she had said. She was able to ask questions that the two adults on the panel, we did not think about asking, because she came at it at a different angle than we adults did. She put herself in the shoes of that girl, thinking about what would I think? What would I feel? How would I handle it if I was this girl? It was amazing watching her, and when I talked about her, blowing the socks off of us, she did.
Tom has been instrumental in helping us carve out a space in the courts to where we can have a role to help people in the court environment. He truly understands the sort of the transformative, the facilitative approach that at Seeds is sort of the core of how we do our mediation. So I think he really appreciates the fact that we're there not just to resolve the problem, but also there to help rebuild the communication and rebuild the relationships for parties involved. And so he has helped create an environment in his court, as well as helping facilitate opportunities in other courts in Alameda County to provide these mediation services right there when people show up at their court hearing date, and give them the opportunity to try to see one last time before they actually have to go into judgment if they can resolve the conflict on their own.
People like Tom, sir, are what keeps organizations alive. He was always enthusiastic. He always understood as an officer of the court how important community mediation was. If there's a saint in community mediation, it's Tom, sir.
When I think of Harriet Whitman Lee, one of the first characteristics that comes to me is unflappable. And the reason I'm smiling is I think of one of the most notorious cases she had of peacocks in North Berkeley and trying to take care of a conflict with the neighbors. Some of the neighbors liked the peacocks, some of the neighbors hated the mess and so on. And so when I use the word unflappable, I have this mental image of Harriet running around out there flapping her arms trying to get the peacocks all rounded up, which of course isn't what she did, but she is unflappable. And she is so steady and so knowledgeable and helpful in the training that she does for the mediation organizations.
Some of the contributions that Harriet made was in especially her mentoring of new mediators to the process in BDRS. I consider myself a mentee of Harriet beginning in 1993. She was an excellent trainer, very knowledgeable, very patient, very systematic in her training, in her thinking, and yet she had the human touch along with her analytical skills and abilities, and I really respect it, and that attracted me a lot.
I had a goal when I was president of the BDRS board to run us out of business. I said that should be our goal, is that we need to train everybody in the community to do active listening. We're never going to do that. It's not going to happen. But that shouldn't stop us from having that as a goal. And I think that's one of our greatest contributions, is constantly teaching more and more people to actively listen, because at the end of the mediation, the people are going to have to walk out of that room and deal with it themselves. The mediators aren't going to be there to help. It's our job to pass on some of the skills that can be used in the world.
Seeds has been a godsend for me in that it coincides with my value system of peaceful coexistence between families, between individuals, between countries of the world. And so I owe a great deal to the colleagues I've met, and I thank them very, very much.